too. Lori Miggins, her diamonds are on here too. She and I are success partners, and so we've teamed up to run team calls together as well as our diamond calls because two brains are always better than one. And Lori is 9-star diamond, 2-time elite, locked in, 3-time elite. I think you'll be officially locked in at the end because your diamond was 6 weeks, I think the first week in September, but you're all locked in. So, and her team is Flawless Empire and my team is Rock Solid. So that's who you're speaking to tonight. We'll probably have a few more people that are going to be jumping on, just so you know. And guys, let me introduce you guys to Rachel Baldwin. She's got lots of great information to share with you guys tonight. But Rachel is a 5-star diamond coach, and she's a 2-star diamond in her second business center. She is a 2-time elite, well, 1-time elite, already locked in elite this year, so 2-time elite technically, right? She is a boy mom.
This will be my first time.
Oh, this is your first time. Okay, so she's locked in. She's locked and loaded for elite this year, which is really exciting. She's a boy mom, 18-month-old little boy. She's a former teacher, and her team is currently number 33 in the network. Where Rachel really got my attention was when she was talking about time management, because she was working full-time when you started coaching as a teacher. So I know that our teams have a lot of teachers, or in general, a lot of people that are working full-time jobs. And what I loved that she was sharing is that you don't need to have these huge pockets of time to build a really rock solid team, but you have to be intentional with your time. And so Rachel works no more than 2 hours a day, but she nails what she needs to do. And clearly it's working. It's duplicating down. She's doing some great stuff. So I'm going to let Rachel, I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to let you do your thing and talk to everybody.
Cool. Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for asking me to be on here, Courtney. I'm super excited. Leaders are my favorite people to talk to, and so I want to just let you guys know what you can expect from me, and if I can what I hope to expect from you. So you can expect from me to hear like things you can put into action like right now within the next 30-40 minutes. You can expect me to give you actionable things to put into action to see results in your business, and you can expect me to answer any questions that you have. I'm seriously an open book. And I hope, I just ask in return that because I'm speaking to leaders that I can be like super direct and like not sugarcoat anything. Is that a deal? Okay, cool. So, and if I swear, I'm sorry, but when the baby's asleep, the floodgates open. I hope that's okay. And I'll try to censor myself. It's always awkward. I'm like, if I swear and then it's like too late, and I'm like, is it okay if I swear? Like, it's too late. I already swore. So anyways, so I'm going to talk to you guys about time management, because I think time management is like a super unsexy topic, right? Like no one is like, yay, time management is so fun. No, but the results that time management gives you, and like the results are super sexy. So I think it's super important. I was actually working full time up until June. My team locked in elite while I was still working full time. I am a 6-figure a year earner. While I was I'm not counting my teaching salary. That's garbage anyway. It was garbage anyways. But like while I was working full time, I became a 6-figure a year earner with just Beachbody. So seriously, anything is possible. So I'm going to share my screen because I have a presentation, because otherwise I will like talk about nothing and like you'll see. But anyway, so seriously, use the chat, ask any questions. I will never say I don't feel comfortable answering a question. So I hope this is okay, because then I can see you guys on the side and that makes me feel more comfortable. I don't know why. So my presentation, here we go. Time management is sexy. I'm going to tell you why. So Gordon gave me like such a warm welcome introduction. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me. So it says on the side here, I replaced my teaching income a year into this business because it's not really that hard to do when you're a teacher. But I literally chose to continue teaching because it still served me. And I was able to, like I told you, I was able to grow it to a 6-figure a year income on just Beachbody. I literally was choosing to continue teaching, but that meant that I had to work my business in 1 to 2 hours a day because it's legitimately all I had. I have a son, he's 18 months old now. So I was working full time when he was a baby, like after I took 8 weeks, or no, I took my full 12. I took 12 weeks off, but after that, I was working, and he was a crap sleeper. Like, I was up 4 times a night. I did 80-day obsession while I was teaching full time. Like, I was up at like God knows what time, like getting abs and, like my postpartum body and all that jazz. And so like I've done it. So when I'm here to tell you like that legitimately anybody can make this business work if you want it to, and you're willing to work hard and do your crap, which I will talk about. So I don't need to talk about that one. Okay. So I love to give this analogy. How many people on here are moms? Pretty much everybody. Cool. So I love the analogies are just like the weight of my heart. So I love giving them. I just think they just like make the most sense. So if you're a mom, you've definitely done this before. So I remember like getting ready for my son's first birthday party, and like my anxiety was like through the roof because my house was trashed. So I started cleaning, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get all this done, So I started cleaning, and I'm like cleaning the kitchen, like doing dishes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the island is a disaster. I need to put all that stuff away. So I stopped doing the dishes, start cleaning the island. I'm like, oh my gosh, is the dog dying? Like, there's so much hair everywhere. Like, need to vacuum that. Stop, so I stopped doing the counter. I start vacuuming. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even put Leo's toys away. So I stopped vacuuming, put Leo's toys away. So this can go on for, let's say I did that for a half hour. If I look around, I have not cleaned anything. My house is still trashed. I have the same things on my to-do list. I have actually accomplished nothing. By doing a little bit of everything, you actually accomplish nothing. It's the same thing in our business. So instead of responding to a couple messages, sending one invite, doing a random follow-up, you just thought of, oh, I just saw that girl liked a post, I'm going to thank her. Like, you will get nothing done. And at the end of your work time, you will be exhausted because you just did like all the things, and you wasted a shitload of time transitioning from task to task. You legitimately got nothing done. So instead, this is just a life tip, just in general, you should always do you should do a task start to finish with doing no other tasks in between. So when you're cleaning your house, like you should do just your dishes. I'm still like fall victim to this, like when I'm cleaning, and I know this, I preach this. This is the same thing in your business. Like if you're, it was like this, it's like this in anything. Like when you're doing one task, you should do it start to finish. Like when my husband's mowing the lawn, he doesn't stop randomly to like water a plant he passes. That would be such a waste of time, right? But we do this in our business because multitasking has this like amazing connotation in our society. Like if you're a multitasking mom, like you equal super mom, but in reality, you're probably not getting anything done. And at the end of the night, like you want to curl up into a ball and like binge watch Scandal because you're exhausted, but your house, like this has happened to me before. Like my husband's like, the house is trashed. Like you said you need to work tonight. Like, what have you done today? Like there's dishes everywhere. Like, it's not like you cooked any food. He's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. It's like one of those multitasking days. You really get nothing done. So I've always worked in pockets of time. I don't really anymore, but I did for years because I had to. So the amount of invites I can get done in 15 minutes now is like, it's impressive because I had to learn how to do that. Like I said, it's a skill. Time management is a skill. So my husband gives this analogy, and it's amazing. Like I told you, I love analogies. Like when our son was learning to walk, it was so awkward, and it took him like to cross this room. It took him forever. And it was actually torture to watch him. Like I wanted to just pick him up and do it for him. Like it was slow. He like picked up his knees so far. It was forced. But because he practiced every day, he doesn't still walk like that. Now he runs across the room and stuff. And it hasn't even been that long. He hasn't even been walking for more than, it's been like 4 months or 5 months. It's not even been that long. And in the grand scheme of things, you know, like when we're in the day-to-day grind of our business, of course, we want to see, like, we want to run now, but you have to do the crawling and the awkward walking to get to the running. And a year in this business is a freaking light year. In the day-to-day grind, it feels like an eon, but it's actually so fast that I like never forget when people say, like, the work you put in today, you will see the payoff in a year from now. And it's freaking so true. When I started buckling down and doing time management, like that, a year from then is when I started becoming a 6-figure a year earner with Beachbody. It was the same thing with new messages, 15 minutes. I mean, that's mindless. Like, crank those out, like thanking people for following you, liking your posts, all that jazz. And then follow-ups take me a little bit longer because they're a little more individualized. You have to search for them and all that crap, but make sure you're using your tracking system. So I'm going to give you some tangible tips to put into effect now to stop the burnout and to get you to your goals like ASAP. Okay. So tip number 1 doesn't always go over very well, but it's a tip anyway. So I want everybody to stop following coaches because everybody's guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. It's so easy to get sucked into following coaches because they're interesting. Like, we're all similar in some way. Like, we have Beachbody in common. And because they're then good at social media, they're fun to follow. It's a waste of time. It's a total waste of time. They're a coach and they're successful, then they're on stories all day. They're posting on social media, not necessarily every day, but you know, they're posting on social media. It's going to be so easy to get sucked in and spend minutes are money. So if you're spending 3 minutes watching people's stories, you're throwing money out the window. I love to give this example. One of my friends who's a coach, our sons are very, very close in age. I adore her. We're like legitimately friends. We do not follow each other on social media, on Instagram. I have a search bar when I'm laying in bed at night. If I got all my crap done and I want to see what Jamie was up to today, I can search her. I can watch her stories. If I don't see what she did in 24 hours, it doesn't matter. Like, Jamie's stories don't move my business forward, just like my stories don't move her business forward. And whether you mean to or not, and whether you think it's true or not, you will start to compare yourself to other people that are at different points in their business, and that's not fair to you. I just know that I don't want to look at any other coaches' stories on Thursdays because it brings me down and I don't want to be brought down. Like, then I'm like, oh, well, I didn't have that many people rank advance. Who cares? Like, you stay in your own lane. It doesn't matter. Everybody's goals are different, and you have, like I said, you have a search bar. You can search them later. I recommend following your coach, your direct upline, and then your success partner, somebody that you don't get jealous of. You can be competitive with them without being jealous. Does that make sense? So, like, for example, I don't know. I don't have an example. Never mind. So I just know, like, you know, like I just know this from experience. Like, if you follow other coaches, like, it's human nature to start comparing. And then comparing is a huge joy stealer. I learned that from being a new mom. Like, when you're comparing like your kids' milestones and stuff, everyone is so different. It's the same with coaching. Like, if my goal is to be top 10, then I probably have a success partner it's not, but then I probably have a success partner with a similar goal. So then we can motivate each other and push each other. I'm just going to be super direct. I think it's bullshit when people say I'm following other coaches for inspiration. You should follow your coach for inspiration, I guess, and ideas, and you're probably closely aligned. There's no way that spending 20 minutes on stories a day watching other coaches in the network is giving you inspiration to send more invites. Like, I've just never heard of that happening. So people say that, and one of my coaches was like, that's so hard for me I have to unfollow like 10 coaches. They give me fitness inspiration. And I was like, Erica, that's crap. You give people fitness inspiration. You should see her 80-day transformation from 80 Day. And she's like, I'm like, you will feel more free. I'm like, you are still comparing you're comparing your fitness journey to them. And other people are doing that to you, but they don't have, you know, they're not in the network, you know? So just, that's my little tangent about stop following coaches. I don't think it serves you, and it's definitely not a good time management practice, because I just love this quote. The fastest way to kill something special is to compare it to something else. Your coaching journey is so special and it is yours. And I don't want anybody to kill that. It hurts my soul. Like the leader in me, when a new coach follows me, and my assistant, I do have an assistant, all she does for me right now is messages my new followers. But when they're like, oh, I'm a new coach, you're so inspiring, I'm like, I don't want you to, I want to say, like, please unfollow me. I don't want you to compare your journey to mine, because we live in such an instant gratification society. And I've been a coach for 3.5 years, and I've shown up every day and all that stuff. So I would never say that to a new coach, and or anybody for that matter. But that's just my advice, that I just don't think it serves people in any way to follow a zillion other coaches. Okay, tip number 2 is to stop answering messages on the fly. Raise your hand if you've ever answered a message on the fly. Yeah, like everyone, okay? If you haven't, like, you've never done that, like, you're amazing. But everyone now is going to raise their right hand and vow to never answer another message on the fly if you want to be productive with your time. I solemnly swear. Okay, because we've all been there. It's exciting to have a prospect of a sale, like, and I am money driven. And so, like, $40 to me is like, hell yeah. But so many coaches, when they sign up, they say, I don't want to be salesy, yet they're attached to their phone when people are messaging them saying that they're interested. That makes you look salesy and desperate. And sorry, that's very blunt, but it does, because you look like you're at their beck and call. Like, you're like, what can I do for you to sign up? Like, here, I'm just waiting for you to tell me that you're ready for a link. Like, no, don't do that. It's not sexy. It paints your business in a really poor light, and it's horrible time management. If you're constantly stopping what you're doing to go answer a message, again, think of the cleaning analogy. You're stopping what you're doing to do something else. One message, it's a waste of time. It doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve them, and it does not serve your business. It's not sexy. So I said it makes you look salesy and desperate. It doesn't put stock in your business as a business. I just always like to throw this out there, that when and we all have the people that, like, want to ask, like, give this example, like, she was a referral, and she was like, message me about, like, what weights that she should get for next week when she's going to start LA4. And I didn't answer her because I wasn't working. And she sent me a couple hours later, like, a question mark, and I, like, about lost my shit. But if I were to answer her right away, that would show her that I will be at your beck and call and answer every single one of your questions all the time. Sure as hell don't do that for my challengers. I don't do that for my coaches. I definitely don't do that for my prospects. It paints my business like my business is a business. If they, like, kind of test me on that, I'll just tell them, like, I don't answer my messages all the time. I would be on my phone 24/7, and that's not sexy. Like, if you're answering somebody's messages constantly, and then you're like, so let's say they sign up as a client, you want to talk to them, you're talking to them about being a coach. In their mind, they're thinking, hell no, like, girl, thanks for answering my messages all the time, but I sure as hell don't want to be tied to my phone all the time. I want a life of freedom, which is what we're preaching. So we have to definitely be practicing what we preach, and that will make your business so much sexier. I know it feels so backwards for people, probably not to you guys, because you guys are diamond leaders and stuff, but it's really hard for new coaches to wrap their brain around, like, respecting business hours and not answering messages on the fly. It's just a horrible practice. Number 3 is to just do your crap. Don't be distracted by the time wasters. So get the crap done that needs to get done. Think of what is going to move your business forward. This is a no-brainer for you guys. Like, you guys know, it's invites, it's follow-ups, it's messaging new followers and people engaging on your posts, comments, and likes. And the last thing is responding to messages. And I should move this post into your challenge group over here. But at that point, is it an income producing activity? I go back and forth, like, they've already purchased something probably, and you've created the community that you can foster future purchases. So whatever. Anyways, then if you have time, that's when you can do the other things. You should definitely not have your notifications on for Beachbody Champs. No one should, because that page is, well, I guess there's only one thing going up a day, but I think, you know, like if you're part of like a huge downline and people are posting questions in there, like, how do I modify my Shakeology order? Like, if they're asking Google questions, you need to turn your notifications off, and then for that group, and then you can go in there when you have time. So even if that maybe that means your challenge group, those notifications are off, and you just tell your girls to tag you when they have a question and they need your eyeballs on something. I tell my girls that anyways, because our notifications are crazy, right? So then you're making sure that you get to them at a later time, blah, blah, blah. But that's not it. Checking the team page is not an income producing activity. Getting on a training is not an income producing activity. If you're getting on a team training and not doing your invites, that's a huge disconnect. You should do both, but a team training, I'll get to that in a second. Next, actually, stop doing the crap that doesn't matter. Stop looking for the perfect training, the perfect call with all the rainbows and unicorns and magical ponies. I'll just tell you right now, spoiler alert, no training exists that way to get you from wherever you are to top 10. Like, everyone would do it then. There would be, you know, like, but it just doesn't exist. Every top coach ever of all time, they just tell you the same thing over and over, like, to just do your crap. Like, they're like, so-and-so, how did you get to the top 10? They're like, I did my vitals every day. And then they're like, that's it? And they're like, yeah, I just did them every day. Like, and I 10x them and 100x them, you know. I mean, sure, there's a couple of people who have gone viral and stuff, but that's not the norm, you know. Like, I'm in Michigan, and Anita Myron is from Michigan. She's been in the top 10 almost every year since I've been a coach. And so she speaks at a lot of our Super Saturdays, and she's like, every single one, she's like, I just do my vitals. Like, it's just the vitals. It's inviting. It's showing up every day. Like, there is no magical pony to get you to 5-star or 15-star, top 10 or 6 figures. Like, there's just not. So if you are going to do a training, there's nothing wrong with trainings. Do one and go all in and do the things that the training was set up for. Like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, is when like pages were like the in thing. And I have a great, well, it's not great anymore. Don't make like page. If you don't have one, don't do it. But I did Jesse Regan's like page training, and I went freaking all in, and my like page exploded. And I have still all the people that I get on my like page, like, they are my exact market, because I did every crappy assignment that training gave me until it worked. And like, it was not a secret. Like, you might have to do this one module 70 times. And so I was willing to do it, and I went all in because I paid for that training. It was the first paid training I ever did, and I almost pooped my pants when I hit submit. And I was like determined to get results, and I did. And then when people are like, oh no, Rachel, like, you had results on that because you're special. No, I'm not special. I'm like, well, did you do module 3? And they're like, yeah, I tried it one time. I'm like, well, I tried it 30 times, you know? So just go all in. And the trainings usually aren't blowing smoke. If you do the things that you're told to do, you'll see results in your business, but go all in, do one. Don't get distracted on social media by the next popular training. Just do the one you're doing. My extra little tips are just to create the joy. Like, if you're competitive, like, see how many invites you can do in 15 minutes, like, challenge yourself every day to beat your score, like, stuff like that. So set up things that work. Like, you guys probably aren't, I'm not going to talk about this. You guys know this stuff. You're diamond coaches. Okay. But everyone likes this one. So get efficient. You guys probably already use like scripts or conversation starters. Sorry, I'm trying to make this bigger. You're definitely going to want to take a picture of this. I'm going to make it bigger. This is setting up quick keys on your phone. It's nicknamed donut texting on my team, because if you type the word donut, you can set up your phone to have whatever you want populate when you type the word donut. So I don't type the word donut, but you want to do things like you can remember. But so if I type FU1, my follow of one populates in a millisecond. Like then I'm not going back and forth into different apps to copy and paste. That's a waste of time. I always joke, like, I didn't know about this until a couple of months ago. I was like, I want to redo on coaching with donut texting, and everyone's going to be calling it donut texting pretty soon, which is just funny. And so like when I'm giving Shakeco info, I just type like Shakeco1 and my little chunk about Shakeology pops up. And so I don't have to type anything, saves me so much time. Donut texting is life. So this is how these are the directions on how you set it up on your phone. I'm not sure if it works on Android. The jury's out. Everyone should just get an iPhone. If you have an Android, you should just get an iPhone. And I probably don't need to say this to you guys. Just do your vitals, like workout, Shakeco, all that stuff's important. Okay, that was that. That was fast. But I wanted to make sure I had time to answer you guys' questions and not keep you guys forever.
That was awesome, Rachel. I think there's some questions about tracking, like what you use to track your business. I know I got this question today from one of my coaches who's on here about tracking Instagram, and I would like to know too.
So for like 2.5 years or something, I used Teamzy, and I was speaking on a team call, and she was not like being mean at all. Like she was like, Rachel, Teamzy is so 2016, and it is. Teamzy is so 2016. Teamzy is fine. Honestly, I don't think it matters what you use to track, as long as you're using something to track and you're using it consistently. I am a teacher, but so on paper, I like pen and paper, but for this business, I do not think you can sustain long-term results with pen and paper. I just don't think you can. I think you'll just lose people. So right now I'm using, I'm going to tell you how I use for Instagram, because I'm pretty much 100% on Instagram for Teamzy. And now I'm on Google Streak, and I'm obsessed with Google Streak. Absolutely obsessed. I've been thinking about making the move for like almost a year now, and I'm so glad I made the move. I don't regret not doing it sooner. It's definitely like taking time to get everything moved over. I didn't have the time before. So it was like one of those new little projects I can take on now that I'm full-time coaching. On Teamzy, you can search by email. And so that's what I would put in, where I would put in their Instagram handle, was just for the email spot. They do have an Instagram handle spot, but it's not searchable. So it was like worthless, because you don't know everybody's name sometimes. And that's a huge pain in the ass and a waste of time to go look up their name if it's on their profile. Like, who has time for that? So that's how I would do it in Teamzy. And on Streak, I just control find everything with Streak, because there's not really, like, the search bar doesn't really work that way with Streak. So I just, or command on my Mac, command F for find, and just always make sure I put in their handle somewhere in your tracking system.
Thank you. That's helpful. Anybody else have questions for Rachel? And you can type them in the chat. Oh, go ahead, Kate.
I think that's awesome that you only work 2 hours a day, and I could see that for like inviting and following up and all the vitals, but what I'm spending so much time on is expanding my market and going through all the locations around Chicago and all the hashtags, and I feel like building all those relationships right now is what's just taking so long. Like, do you use any apps to do that, or?
Totally. I should put a slide in here about this, like delegating stuff. Like I said, I do have an assistant. I've had an assistant for a while. Like when I was on my Facebook like page, she did a lot of stuff over there, but it's just not the same with Instagram. So she messages my new followers, and I recommend Stim Social if you're not wanting to spend a lot of money. It's a very cheap way to have your market grow. That being said, I hate giving social media advice, because literally everything I say in the next 2 minutes could be literally garbage tomorrow. Like Stim Social could be gone tomorrow. Like, I don't know, so take it with a grain of salt. So I used Stim Social for a while, because for me, that is not enjoyable. What you just described makes me want to like actually vomit. Like that's not fun for me. I love connecting with the people that do come to my page. I love that part, but I don't like going to find them. Like that is like my worst nightmare. So I'm totally cool with paying a system or a person to do that for me. So I did use Sim Social for a while. Now I'm with Jumper Media. It's a little bit more expensive, but a lot more targeted and a lot less work on my end. Then Sim Social, you still have to like, I mean, you're the manager of it, but then you tell it what to do, kind of.
Thanks.
So I always think of too, like some of my leaders like think this is helpful. So I'm just going to throw this out there. And if it helps one person, whenever I'm thinking about whether or not I should invest into my business. I'm going to give you an example. I'm using Jumper Media now for my Instagram and for them to grow my following specific to me and my niche and all that crap. And it's a little bit more expensive. And so I break it down to monthly cost. This one you have to pay for 3 months up front, but then I break it down to challenge pack commission, which if you guys are diamonds, like you're making good team cycle bonus too, but I just break it down to like how many challenge packs would pay for that. And if the answer is like less than 5, then it's a no-brainer to do it. If it's something that's going to open up more doors for more challenge packs, like, so for Jumper Media per month, it's about 2 challenge packs, like signing up 2 people. That's a no-brainer for me. Like I'm hitting Success Club 50s. That's a no-brainer to invest back 2 of those challenge packs back into my business is a no-brainer. But sometimes like I get sticker shock and I like won't do it until I break it down that way.
Does anybody else have a question for Rachel that they want to ask while we have her here? You can unmute yourself or type in chat.
Questions are like my favorite, so no pressure, but
true teacher here.
I know.
No question is a bad question.
Yeah.
Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Marin's asking, do you work one-on-one with Josh Coates? I think it's
I do.
Josh.
I do. Do you want more of an answer than that?
She's on the phone. Marin's on the phone, so she can't unmute herself and talk. Marin, do you want more information on that?
Sorry, I was driving.
Oh.
Question. So, like, my situation's similar but different to yours, Rachel, in that, like, I'm a golf pro, so I'm full-time with Beachbody, but full-time with teaching golf 6 months a year. And Josh had reached out to me, and obviously this isn't something I can always ask on the call when you're on there, but get a lot out of it. And like one of my coaches is on this call too, Annie. And so my question is, like, I'm thinking about when I get back to Florida, which is in like a month, of going one-on-one with him, because I've seen a lot of growth just being in the mastermind and also doing like virtual summit and things like that. So I just want to know, like, for you personally, was that a game changer for you?
It was a game changer for me because I was looking for it to be a game changer. And Josh and I have talked about this. I think like I'm still with him. Like at so I started working with him in March and I was a 1-star, and by May I was 6-star qualifying. I'm still 6-star qualifying, by the way. I could not get through 6-star qualifying. Anyways, and I didn't have any stars in my second CBC. So I've advanced like 7 diamonds this year or something with his help. But like I said, I was looking for a game changer, and he pushes me outside my comfort zone, but I'm also willing to do the crap that he makes me do, you know, like,
right.
And so like, there are some times like when he tells me to do something, and it's literally the last thing on earth that I want to do, but I'm paying him, to be honest, like a shitload of money. So it would be stupid for me to like not do what he's telling me to do. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, totally. I mean, what I was laughing at, like, because you're, like I said, your story is very similar to mine. And like, for me, like, I had bought into the whole Jesse Reagan thing, and to this day, I'm still not over the fact that I bought my connection builder. Like, you know, like I'm just, and granted, I probably didn't invest as much time and energy into it. Definitely invested money as far as ads.
Right.
And I got like super pissed because so like you said, I totally 100% believe in using a system like Stim Social. I used that for a little bit. Now I use 21 Social. And for me, it's the same thing. Like it's paid for itself. Like I'm getting most of my Success Club points are cold market that it's found for me. But like with Jesse and that whole system, like I got it, but I almost felt like I bought into it because everyone else was.
Yeah.
And I did not get anywhere near the return on my investment. Like my ROI is like way red. And I've actually turned off all of my ads because I just wasn't feeling it. And I was probably pissed I spent money and didn't get any kind of return. But like for me, I don't know, like I've just been watching him, watching you guys, listening. And even though like it's like the lower level as far as like mastermind and all of that, and I'm just saying, like, imagine being able to have access to that brain power one-on-one where they're like, okay, you want a specific affirmation? You want to know how you really need to get out of your way? So I just was excited to have the opportunity to ask you that without you being like on a, no pun intended, hot seat where you had to answer it in a particular way.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm done, Court.
All right, guys. Rachel, thank you so much for dropping your knowledge. I loved your honesty. I loved how you made it very simple to follow. I'm going to have to figure out what the heck a donut text is because I'm still a little confused about donut texting.
Okay, I'll explain. Let me explain it because you're probably not the only one that's confused then.
I'm visual.
Okay.
So like that's the
Okay, I'm just going to try to show you.
Okay.
So
yes,
if
please.
I go into a text, like you can do it on a text, like you can do this in Instagram, you can do any way that you're on your phone. So let's say I'm going to tell, like, I'm going to put in my husband's number, but so I'm in my husband's like text. And so I'm at the part of the script I want to talk about, sign up options. So my quick key, it's a quick key. I type PAC1, PAC1. So if I type PAC1, that's literally all I put in. Oh shoot, it's like being weird. But it populates a chunk of my script. It's this big. All I did was write PAC1, and then because I have it set up in my phone, it populates that whole chunk of the script. It took me no time to do that and have to go into another app and copy and paste and all that stuff. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, so you're creating lists, like you're creating names for these scripts, right? No?
Yeah. So I have like
shortcuts.
And I have a streak set up the same way. I don't have anything named donut. This is the person that like created it, like called it that. Like if you were to type donut, you could theoretically have donut say like, I'll see you in 10 minutes. It could be anything you wanted. You set it up in your phone. So for me, the parts of my script, the first thing I talk about is goals. So if I type goal 1, and don't make it something that you type a lot because it will like randomly populate the script for you. Like
right.
Texting somebody, which you can delete it. But anyway, so if I type goal 1, a whole big chunk populates. I talk about goals, and all I have to hit is send instead of like going copy paste. The same thing with like I send links of the videos, like different workouts. I type vids with 2 S's, and then all of those links pop up. And then same thing with Shakeology info. I type Shake01. It all populates.
Interesting.
It's life-changing.
Yeah, no idea. There's so many things I'm sure this thing does outside of Facebook Messenger, Facebook, and Instagram, right?
I like joke,
does more,
but I'm serious. I would like a redo on coaching, like at least the last year with donut texting. Like everyone's gonna call it that now, but because it is, I'm sure it's been able to. All iPhones have been able to do this since iPhones came out. I'm sure, but it's amazing. It's
an accessibility feature, exactly. But yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Would you compare it to snippets in Streak?
Yes, exactly the same.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, Rachel,
when I saw that Streak had snippets, I was like, Oh my God, this is perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Streak. Krista wants to learn more about Streak. Yeah. Definitely a way to work more efficiently, right?
The best way to learn about Streak is to just dive in, watch a few YouTube videos, and you can't copy Rachel's system because it works for her. You can't copy mine. You have to make your own.
You have to do however your brain works.
Like the different pipelines and folders within the pipelines, and however your desk is, you can make that into a file.
So I'm sure
that's scary for me though.
I'm sure
however my desk is how you want my Streak.
However your brain works. Like, I'm sure if I looked at your Streak, Lori, I would be like, WTF, like, I could never work with this. And I'm sure you would think the same about mine. And that's the cool thing about Streak, though, is that you can make it work for your brain. Whereas, like, other tracking systems like Asana and Teamsy and stuff, like, you're locked into the way that they are set up.
And Streak is free.
Yes.
And there's no like maximum, like, oh, you've exceeded your contacts or Streak is awesome.
Because we're all busy on YouTube videos right now, watching Streak videos, right? All right, lady, thank you so much for popping on. This was hugely helpful. We really appreciate you. And yeah, thanks for hanging with us.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Night.